Hello, beautiful people.
And welcome to the Innerscape podcast with me, Judith.
And with me, Tina. Hi, Judith. How are you?
Hi, Tina, and hi, everyone who is with us today. Thank you very much for joining and being a part of a growing community. I'm very well. How are you?
Yes, I'm excited about today's topic. It's really funny because we record this episode during the night, but actually, our topic today is the morning routine.
Morning routine. Yes. I'm very excited as well. And I was just laughing earlier because this is one of my favorite topics. And I know that I said the same thing at the first and the second episode as well. But because we want to bring our strongest topics in the beginning of this podcasting, I think
Right.
all the first bunch of topics will be our favorite ones because
Exactly.
we need something that we love talking about and something that we feel very strongly about. So would you like to tell us what morning routine means to you, or why is it important to you, or why you would recommend people to have a good morning routine?
Well, I wanted to ask you first since this is your favorite topic. So
Okay.
I was looking forward to hear yours and then I'm going to jump into it to explain mine because I'm a little bit different with my morning routine. It was coming a little bit harder. So you're the master. You have to start.
Well, I don't know if I'm a master of anything at all, but um, I developed my morning routine during COVID because I was made redundant from work, and me, as everyone else on this planet, lived in complete uncertainty. And I used a strong routine in the morning to just feel accomplished. I wanted to wake up and feel some kind of control over my life or over what's happening.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have a reason to get up, an early accomplishment, and I wanted to feel productive. And then it has developed ever since into an everyday habit that I can't imagine my life without. And I can really, really warmly recommend everyone to start their day with. It's a good question with what? Because I have a few suggestions that I believe in. And I don't know if you ever heard about the 5 a.m. club.
Yes, I've
Do you
heard about
know?
it. Yeah. So do you
Yes.
actually practice that?
No, but I practice something very similar. And just a little bit of background, the 5 a.m. Club was founded by a leadership expert in 2018 named Robin Sharma. I think she's Canadian. And she said that every morning you should wake up 1 hour before you would normally wake up and dedicate that 1 hour for something productive. And this has to have three main components. One is an exercise, the second one is a mindfulness practice, or it can be journaling, visualization technique,
Okay.
even editing your vision board or
Yeah.
meditation. And the third one is for learning a new skill. It can be even reading the news, or doing an online course, or just,
Okay.
I don't know, learning a language or whatever you want. And many successful people have stood behind it ever since, like Michelle Obama or Apple CEO Tim Cook, Elon Musk. But even before I read an article where they said that even Hemingway or Mozart had this routine. So
Okay.
I don't think it was developed in 2018. It's a much earlier practice stretching back into history. But the point is that a morning routine helps us to set tone for the day, to set our goals. It's a preparation for the day.
Yeah.
It helps to increase our productivity, develop healthy habits, and to, just to have a better time management.
For sure. Yeah.
And just before this recording, I had a chat about this upcoming episode with someone, and he said, "Oh yeah, but some people, they're just not really morning people. So for them, it would be really hard to implement a morning routine. So I guess it's the same if they just do the same things in the evening before going to sleep. Sleep is the same efficient." And I have to disagree, because the point of the morning routine is to start the day, to create just better energy and efficiency, and it helps to have a better performance for the
Right.
day.
I mean, I can comment on that because I'm not a morning person at all. Like I'm definitely a night owl, and for me it was really hard to wake up in the morning, and I had to develop a morning routine because society doesn't really organize life around personalities like night owls, because everything starts like early. Most of the job starts around 8 or 9. But I wanted to also ask you about the 5 a.m. Club, right? That's the name. 5 a.m. Club.
Yes, that's the
So
name.
so this waking up 1 hour earlier to fit in something productive also includes your regular tasks like brushing your teeth, taking a shower, and stuff like that, or it's an extra 1 hour that you have to add to your morning.
It's an extra 1 hour.
Okay.
So according to that Canadian lady who is behind this whole concept, it's 1 hour divided into 3 times 20 minutes. So 20 minutes exercise, 20 minutes meditation
Yeah.
or mindfulness, and 20 minutes learning. And then everything comes on top. But this is
Okay.
why it doesn't have to be 5 a.m. For me, it's definitely not 5 a.m. I am an early riser. I'm definitely a morning person. I
Okay.
don't want to make enemies here in this podcast, but I wake up very happy and energetic, and
Cool. Cool.
I like
Good for
I like
you.
mornings. Yes,
I mean, it's
but
perfect.
it's not.
So we can see this from your point of view, an early bird's point of view, and the night owl's point of
Yeah,
view. How does the morning
yeah,
routine looks
yeah.
like?
It absolutely doesn't have to be 5 a.m. So if you start, especially now, so many people work from home, so
Yeah.
they start working at 9, they would just roll out of bed at 7:30, make a coffee, take a shower, just wake up 7:30 and do your routine.
Yeah.
And there's something that really reassures me in this strong belief is that every single person I ever talked to who has implemented any kind of morning routine, they have benefited from it.
Yeah.
They all said that it was good for them.
So how does your morning routine look like?
First of all, I do exercise in the morning. I have always believed in morning exercise. As I said, I'm an early bird person, so I'm the most energetic in the first part of the day. It can be any kind of exercise, the point is that it starts the blood flow, it pumps oxygen into your organs and your brain, boosts your metabolism, makes you feel more energized for the whole day. And my morning exercise is yoga.
Okay.
I have been practicing yoga for 6 years, at least every single day.
So you wake up and you
And
straight start with the movement, right?
no, I don't actually. I wake up and I start with a coffee
Okay.
and the shower,
Important to
and then I
mention.
do yoga.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
which actually I'd like to come back to this point later, because I have just discovered something about why it's not good for you to drink coffee as the first thing in the day. I will come back to this,
Yeah,
but
right.
it can be any kind of exercise. If you have to go to the office early, just skip the bus, walk, or skip some part of the journey. If you have a fresh, fast walk in the morning, that has the same effect. Or any kind of exercise. If you just hit up YouTube and do a 10-minute workout video, so
Yeah.
whatever you like,
Okay.
it really helps.
So for you, it's usually like 30 minutes or 20 minutes, or depends on the
It's a
day.
30-minute. Depends on the day, but I say on an average it's 30 minutes.
Okay, cool.
And I feel like a completely new person after yoga. I feel young and agile and fresh and just
And ready for
stretched
the
and ready
day.
for the day. No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely. It makes all the difference.
Okay.
How about you, Tina? How do you wake up?
Well, with 10 alarm clocks ringing and hitting the snooze button constantly. As I said, I'm not a morning person at all.
Sorry
Yeah.
for interrupting, but I really envy you because you do sleep like a corpse. I remember once we went to a music festival and we camped in the same tent, and I couldn't believe that anyone can sleep that silently and perfectly relaxed. I think I took a few pictures of you.
Yes, I remember. I have a picture. It's really creepy how I sleep. Well, so as I mentioned, I'm not a morning person. I'm more a night owl, and I stay up late because that's when my brain is functioning the most during the night around 10. But I had to adapt to wake up early. So technically, I wake up around 6 because I have to leave around 7:30, and so I guess I'm part of this 5 a.m. club because I do this without knowing that it's actually beneficial to give yourself some time to prepare for the day. So I started to wake up earlier because I felt that if I'm sleeping in, when I, for example, don't have anything to do, if I sleep in, all my days is kind of delayed, and I feel like I'm not productive enough. So that's why I decided to wake up earlier. For me, morning routine came in a different way because of mostly my job situation, that I started a 9 to 5 job around 3 years ago. So I had to adapt to that. But before I could let myself to sleep in because I had irregular jobs. So yeah, I learned to wake up, and I have to tell you, night owls, that it is possible, and everyone can do that, and everyone can develop a morning routine, even who's not a morning person. And for me as well, as Judith said, I mean, as you said, it was beneficial, and I experienced it since then, that whenever I skip the morning routine, I have the negative effect immediately. Like during this weekend, for me it was hard to keep it because I was traveling to visit my family in Hungary, and I lost all my focus, all my like inner balance and straight. I was feeling that getting used to the morning routine really gives me this focus, and what you were talking about, this kind of mindset to set goals and get into things in a more productive way. So yeah,
Yeah.
I like my
Yeah.
morning routine now. And how I do it actually is that I wake up and I straight go to the shower and take a cold shower, because I was also one of those people who hated cold showers, and I think I still do hate them, but I think it's just the benefit is incredible. I mean, if you're not a morning person, cold shower is the way, because when you're still in this kind
Absolutely.
of when you're still in this kind of coma, or not coma, but like this. after waking
You,
up, you're
you,
still
you feel
like,
drowsy.
yes,
You
exactly.
feel drowsy.
You
Yeah.
feel drowsy, so you don't think, you just automatically, after a few times, you get used to it, that you just, without thinking, waking up, go to the shower, turn it to the cold, and then you shower yourself with a super cold shower, and it straight wakes you up, and it fills you with a lot of
Absolutely.
dopamine and endorphin, and then you became a morning person. You become a morning person.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
that's.
I will never forget 2 years ago we were hiking in Switzerland with you and your boyfriend, your fiance, JC,
Mm-hmm.
and he introduced me to the Wim Hof method and the cold showers in the morning, and it has been a game changer for me, and my boyfriend
Mm-hmm.
immediately implemented it as well. For me it took longer, and I also have to say, for people who might have got an instant shock when they heard you saying you just jump under the cold shower in the morning, for example, I do take a hot shower first. So I stand in, I take a very, very warm, even increase the heat, like I was sitting in a sauna. So I get the heat up to that level when it's not becoming unbearable, but when you kind of crave the
Yeah.
cold after that, and
Mm-hmm.
then turn into cold and put on some music, or you can of course do breathing techniques or whatever. But cold showers, it will wake you up. It helps hangovers. It's tested and it's working well.
Approved.
It Yes, approved. It's an instant pump on your energy level, and also makes you feel more resilient. And I have learned since that it is also used for mental health by therapists, and
Mm-hmm.
it's an incredibly efficient way to cure panic attacks, which we can talk about more in a next episode, because if it's not too early to share the news, but we will have a guest in our next episode who is going to tell us more about the cold showers and the actual Wim Hof method.
Yes. But you started cold shower thanks to JC, and I think I
Mm-hmm.
was more influenced by you, Emil, and whoever he convinced, because he was trying to convince me since years. And I was like, no way, I'm not gonna do cold shower. I do it only after sauna. So when I decided to do it, it was this winter, because normally during winter I go into kind of in an anxiety mode, and everyone has this low moment during the winter season, and and normally it affects me a lot, and I decided that I don't want to let this happen this
Mm.
winter. So I decided to give it a shot in the morning, and I did your technique, actually, to start with warm, and then warming up my body until it craves for cold, and then you turn quickly to the
Mm.
cold, so you don't think,
Yeah.
you just do it, and then it
No, you
feels
mustn't
good.
think.
No, you shouldn't think. And it's good, and it's good like this. And now I skip the warm and I just go straight for the cold, because I realize that I take so much time under the warm one,
Mm.
the warm shower, that it's just a waste of time. So I'm just going for the cold, and it's good. I think it's a good way to get used to this, and definitely the
Yes.
benefits that you mention is there. You feel it straight
Yes.
even after the first one.
Yes. But I also want to share it with the audience that don't get discouraged if at first glance it doesn't seem like your jam, or if
Yeah.
you try and you feel it's horrible, because when I first tried I only did it in warmer
Mm-hmm.
seasons and months, only
Yeah.
summer and
Yeah.
late spring, early autumn. And I remember last winter I just couldn't get myself into this.
Mm-hmm.
But But the last year or so, I've been doing every day, and I can't imagine a day without it. So as everything else, it becomes a habit.
Exactly.
And the dopamine hit you get from it, it has a similar effect as a morning exercise, because it definitely boosts
Or more like
your
cocaine.
blood flow.
Not that
I
I
don't know
know.
about that, I must say.
I just heard
But
from a
it's
friend.
just sure. So this is an instant hit. With exercise, it takes long. You have to raise your heart rate to get anything. You don't even get similar result as you get with a cold shower, because after just I've done some research, and despite Wim Hof says it's 3 minutes, if you do 30 to 45 seconds, it's already very
Yeah.
good for you, and it increases your activity, improves your sleep at the nighttime. It's just good for everything. It's good for your heart, your brain, your blood flow, your metabolism, everything. And you feel like an absolute hero after that. I
Oh,
remember
for sure.
when my partner started it, he was always like screaming under the shower and giving this Viking noises. And I always thought, what do the neighbors think when they hear it every morning at 8 a.m. going through some torture? But it's an adrenaline hit. It's amazing. So yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
try
you
it.
make yourself suffer, but you also enjoy the benefits after. And
Uh,
you feel kind of warm after, no? When you come out of the shower, you're like, I'm okay. Your cold
I don't know. I just
resistance
feel
change.
happy. Yeah, it
Then it's
definitely
finished.
changes. No, I just feel like I imagine this would be the same feeling after a bungee jump. It's just you
Okay,
can't
yeah.
think, because the happiness hormones and the adrenaline hits your brain, and
Yeah, yeah, it's
you
true.
just feel happy. Yeah, it's amazing.
All right.
So, and
But
I note, that you also meditate in the mornings.
yes, so for me as well, it's connected with exercise. I wake up, I take my cold shower, and then I do my Surya Kriya yoga exercise, and then it ends with the meditation. So that's how I
Yeah.
implement meditation. And I started this 2 years ago, and I had to complete a mandala session. So 40 days every day I had to do the Surya Kriya exercise. I learned this from a student of Sadhguru, who I mentioned in the previous episode. He's a yogic teacher, a spiritual teacher. So I had to complete this 40 days mandala session. And since then I can just repeat this exercise every 3 days or 4 days. And it still has this effect. It's an exercise connected with breathing. So at the same time, I can do my breathing exercise as well. So I do these yoga poses connected to breathing. So each poses you repeat 3 breathing, so inhaling and exhaling. And then the second pose is 5 breathing, and the third one is 7. And then you keep repeating. So 3, 5, 7, 3, 5, 7. And until the end of the exercise, you repeat this and then you close it down with body scanning meditation. And I combine this because I don't have time for everything in the morning that I really want to do in my morning routine. So I kind of upgraded it a little bit. So I also say my mantras that I would like to include during that day. I always trying to change it, but normally I keep my favorite one. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. This is always a must. And then I go and drink my morning coffee, and then I go out in the world. This is basically my morning routine in most of the
Okay.
cases. But if I don't have time for it, or if I slip with the time, then I try to include this in my day, either if I have time during my lunch break, for example, or when I go back home in the evening, because I don't think that we have to necessarily do this during the morning. That's why I'm a little bit more flexible with this, that it doesn't necessarily have to be in the morning.
I can totally relate to that.
Does it happen
And
to you
especially
that
that
you do something in the night instead of the morning?
I think mantras, you can bring them into your day whenever you need them. It can be before a stressful meeting, an interview situation, or an event in the evening if you feel anxious to go,
Right.
or whenever you need. I think it's always there for you. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and
it's up to
I
you.
think it's good to not, I mean, it's good to keep the routine, but in case it doesn't happen how you planned it, you shouldn't feel guilty, because then it's not doing
Mm,
it's not, you're not gonna have the benefit from it if you feel guilty about it. You can just take it easy and then finish it in the evening or something. I think that's important to
yeah,
mention.
absolutely. Um, for me, meditation, I think, means the morning mantras because I'm not really good at meditation or that's interesting because what is actually meditation? I think it means different to many people because for example yoga is considered to be a meditation movement,
Yeah.
so that is a kind of static state. You just stay in the yoga poses and you're there in the present. I think meditation partly means that you're present with yourself. And in the 5 a.m. club, it's mentioned that in the second block you can do visualization. And this is something I have been doing but did not know about, that it is actually called visualization. I call it daydreaming. But the point is that when you, so research shows that you stimulate the same regions in your brain when you visualize and feel yourself performing an action as when you actually do it. And it's incredible because I read that Olympic athletes use this technique as well before their games or before their competitions. That it can be, you write down 5 things you really want from life and you start thinking about them. You start to see yourself in that position, in that scene, in that life event. And apparently it really does stimulate the brain the
Yeah.
same way. So it just motivates you to take the small actions to actually achieve it. Or for example, for me with dancing, sometimes I just see myself dancing and I see the moves or whatever I
Yeah.
learn. So this is a way to train myself. But I do use morning mantras. I really believe in them. And I used to do my morning guided meditation video on the commute to work. Now I do it at home in bed usually.
Yeah.
And for example, what you said is my mantra as well. The all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. It's not a surprise because this comes from access consciousness. And you know what's really interesting? That it has just occurred to me a couple of weeks ago that, I used to use this mantra as a positive boost to my mindset, to feel optimistic about life. Just I needed this motivation that yes, everything is going to be great and happy. And I, I have recently realized that all of life means everything. It's an allowance to let not just the positives but the negatives
Yeah.
come into your life as well, because I'm a perfectionist, so I do have a plan for a day, and then something doesn't work out the way I wanted to. it often winds me up or just pushes me off my track. But with this mantra, I realized that all of life means that you welcome everything, and even the negatives, even the challenges can come to my life with ease, joy, and glory. And I'm just very happy about it because it has absolutely changed the way how I do this mantra in the morning.
Yeah.
And my other favorite mantra that I used, especially during times of uncertainty, it sounds like I am exactly where I need to be. I open myself to the universe and trust in the unfolding of my life.
Yeah, I
And it
remember
just
this.
helps me. Yeah, it was my favorite for a very long time
Mm-hmm.
because it helps me to amplify the voices that encourage me to be the best version of myself and quiet the voices that amid doubt, fear, or shame. And there's another practice is practicing gratitude, also to help provoke positive thoughts and emotions. And I used to do it every morning with my partner, that we wake up and I ask him, tell me three things from yesterday that you're the most grateful for. And then we both had to think of three things.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, it really strengthened the feeling of gratitude and love and compassion in us, which is, according to a recent documentary I just watched by Tibetan monks. It was about the secret of happiness, and they said that it's it's just a mentality,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
it's partly it's gratitude.
Yeah. It sounds like you have a lot of, like a huge repertoire of morning routine. And it looks like you do it for 3 hours in the morning. but I guess we have to
No, it's
imagine in a way that whenever writing down or saying gratitude feels right in that morning, then you do that practice, and then you in another day you do a different practice, right? I mean, that's how I would
well
imagine.
when I wake up, these mantras is still in that alpha state when you are, or when you're sipping your coffee, so it's not extra
Mm-hmm.
time for me.
Okay.
It can be during brushing your teeth. It's just whatever you do, because I don't do a full meditation. I just
Mm-hmm.
repeat these
Okay.
mantras 10,
Yeah.
20 times. So for me it can be even during yoga, during the cold shower, to try to distract yourself from the freezing
How you did
ice
experience
water.
the culture is all of life comes to me with with the joy, ease, and glory, and how Tina is experiencing fuck, 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 fuck. When does it end?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not an accurate picture of the reality. But if you don't mind, Tina, I
Yeah.
really would like to bring in an old Cherokee tribe tale that I have heard in podcasts. I've read it in different novels, and this, I think, this really summarizes the importance of morning meditation and mantras. Can I
Sure. Sure.
read it to you quickly? It's short.
Yes.
Yes. So this is a tale from an old Native American Cherokee tribe. An old man told his grandson, my son, there's an endless battle that goes on inside all of us. It is between two wolves. One wolf is bad, his anger, envy, regret, greed, arrogance, resentment, lies, and ego. And the other wolf is good, his joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, kindness, empathy, truth, compassion, and faith. The grandson thought about it and then asked his grandfather, which wolf will win? And the old man answered, the one you feed.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the story.
Nice.
And I think with the morning mantras, you can really feed that good wolf in your head.
Beautiful.
So, but circling back to you, Tina, you were talking about your yoga and meditation exercise. I'd love to learn more about it because this is very new. It's a new information for me.
Yes. So the Surya Kriya that I mentioned before is this yogic exercise or yogic practice. And before, this practice was designed as a holistic process for health, wellness, and complete inner well-being. And Surya means sun, and Kriya means inner energy process. So what I experienced during this 40 days mandala was that each morning I was feeling differently. So whenever someone wakes up, it's so interesting that you're feeling different in your mind, feeling different in your body. So you might feel a lot more stiffness in one day compared to the other. You may be a little bit more tired in one day than compared to the other. And when you have to wake up and do exactly the same movements every day, it was really showing me that it's so interesting to read my body in a different way. So I just wanted to mention this, that if you ever practice something, it doesn't have to be this Surya Kriya exercise that I'm talking about. Although I would be so happy to also dedicate even an episode to this because there's a lot to mention. But basically what it was teaching me is that even when I'm feeling down and I'm forcing myself to do this practice because I'm dedicated to it, i was I was kind of, so each day my body was reacting differently to this practice. If I had my period, for example, I I felt a little bit more flexible, which was interesting because I guess I had a lot of like water in my body. So my muscles were more flexible due to that. And if I had, for example, a bad night, then I woke up, I was super tired, so my focus was not there. And I still had to keep doing the exercise. And you have to count during the movement. So you have to count your breathing. And then sometimes you mess it up, but you still have to keep repeating it and you cannot give it up. And normally I'm also perfectionist, so I like to do it properly. So I would normally start over, but with this, you cannot stop and you cannot start over. You have to do it, and that's it. You have to finish till the end. And it was really teaching me to read my body. If I was a little bit more tired, to let go of doing it perfectly. If I was messing it up, then I was keep doing it, and I accepted that. So I don't know. For me, this 40 days was really teaching a lot. It was a good lesson, and also it got me into the morning routine, into any kind of routine, because I believe that any kind of routine is beneficial for your mind. It helps you to focus in different ways.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
your life as well. It's
yeah,
from childhood, the children who um, start going into clubs or engage into sport activities. They usually perform better at school. They live healthier. Like, routine is key for life. I really I stand strong behind this idea. And if someone wanted to learn more about this specific exercise you're talking about, how can they sign up for that 40 days, or where can they
Well, I would recommend
learn?
to visit isha.sadhguru.org website, and there you can search for the Surya Kriya exercise or courses, because I had to take a course to learn this, because it has to
Oh.
be a certified teacher who you learn this
Mm-hmm.
from. So we can leave this link in the description under the episode.
Perfect.
I hope many of you gonna try this out because it helped me a great deal, and it keeps helping me as well. And when you keep doing that, at some point you're going to feel the benefit of focus, and for example your spine gets stronger, so you build up the muscles around your spine and your back, and you open up your solar plexus, and it's energizing you. So try it and let us know.
Yeah. Well, I can only validate that Tina is a very Zen person. So I don't know if it's due to this practice or what, but it's definitely working for
Maybe.
her. I've
Maybe
never
it is.
tried, but
Well,
I
one day
recommend.
we're going to try.
Yeah. There is something else I do in my morning routine that if some of the listeners, maybe we went to spiritual, or they say, okay, maybe I tried the morning exercise or the shower, but maybe they don't want to bring meditation into their life,
Mm-hmm.
or not even journaling, but write a goddamn daily to-do list. For me, this is a must, because I feel when I wake up in the morning, my brain is overwhelmed with thoughts, with things I should do, or it has a deadline, or I've been procrastinating. And just write down on paper or in your calendar or in your notes. I do write down it in my calendar, in my phone calendar. So every half an hour I get a notification, but even tiny things like wash your clothes, water the flowers,
Mm-hmm.
call
Oh
Gary,
shit, the flowers.
text back, got this. You see? To-do
Yeah,
list.
yeah.
It just really helps to take everything out of your brain and put it down on paper. It has supported my days greatly, and my mental peace as well. I feel more accomplished, and I feel just less I feel more organized, and less overwhelmed after I write down everything and I start tackling the task one by one. I love starting with the most unwanted one or the most difficult one, because I like to get it done early and then I can enjoy the rest of the day. This is my ideology. I'm not saying it works for everybody, but a
Yeah.
to-do list is very good for you.
Yeah, works for me as well. I mean, I normally write it during the evening, so I have it already prepared for the morning, and then I can already start doing it, so I don't have to think, because I'm not a morning person, so my brain is more active during the night. So that's when I create these lists. But probably for a morning person, it's the opposite. So you're more active during the morning. So just
But Tina,
decide for yourself what is best for your type of personality.
well, we might have just hacked the reason why you sleep so well, because you do write your to-do list in the evening. This is why I've been suffering from insomnia and disrupted sleep, because everything is in my mind all through the night hours, and then I just write them down in the morning. So I think from today, I try your style and I will write everything down the day before.
Well, I have to be honest
And
with
I report
you.
back.
Okay. I have to be honest with you. Sometimes I still have things to add during the night. So when I go to sleep, I'm like half asleep, and then, oh shit, I want to also do this in the morning. So I have to wake up, I have to write it down, and then go back to sleep again. So I'm not sure which one is better. Leave it for the morning, or waking up every 2 minutes and not going to sleep in time. But yeah, interesting. It's good. It's good that you mentioned this to-do list. And do you ever feel like when you miss your morning routine, like you skip doing it, how does it affect your body, or how does it affect your mind? Or you never skip it because
um,
you're just the master of morning routine now.
well, not just the master, but I think I just started to prioritize differently
Mm-hmm.
in the past few years, because maybe before I handled this question more flexible. I thought, okay, if I have to wake up early or if I'm on holiday, then I just skip it. But
Yeah.
it was awful. Honestly, I felt, even in my body, I felt stiff. I felt just blocked. I didn't have good days when I skipped the morning routine. And it can be because, I don't know, I'm a control freak and I need to have something in my hand that I do every day, and it's certain. But I don't like skipping it. Honestly, last Saturday I had a job at a filming. I was a support artist, and I had to wake up at 4 a.m. and get to the studio by 5:30. And I woke up and I did the cold shower, and I didn't do a half an hour yoga, but I did a 10-minute
Mm-hmm.
stretching before I left. And I prepared my coffee and I did the mantras on the tube. So I still had
Okay.
my morning
Yeah.
routine. If I skip it, it really messes with me. And especially the exercise, I just feel 10 years younger after doing yoga in the morning and having the shower.
Yeah, definitely.
So I just don't, I don't skip it because I want to feel good. I want to feel I want to have that feeling that I have after the routine. This is something I insist on, something I need, and something I feel I deserve.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly why I'm asking, because for me it's this feeling when I skipped it, then I don't feel good, I don't feel myself, I don't feel focused, and the stiffness in my body. I mean, when you reach 30,
we,
it's
we really sound like super old ladies here. Oh my god, I can't even get out of
I
bed.
mean, it's really not the same as before waking up,
No, man.
but
No, man. Funnily, I only just bought a yoga mat at my latest Hungarian trip, because before that, every time I went to visit my family, I did yoga, but I did it on my mom's, like this polyform, or I don't know
yeah.
how you call it in English,
Mm-hmm.
or just on the rug in the
Yeah,
bedroom. But
which is sleeping constantly.
I know, and I don't know why I've never done it. I've been living here for 8 years, and I told my dad that on the way back from the airport, we have to stop at Decathlon. And uh, by the way, Decathlon is not sponsoring this show. It was just the only sport
I wish they
superstore
would,
there, because that,
because I go
yes.
there every week.
And I just picked up a yoga mat, and I did my full routine at home. And
Mm,
I must say, this whole 2 weeks trip I had in Hungary was absolutely amazing. It was one of my best trips ever,
yeah,
without exaggeration.
yeah, that's really good. That's really good. I should do the same, because we cannot give in to circumstances and give
Mm,
up our routine, because that's really the point of the routine. And you feel it when you get into the routine, any kind of routine, then you skip, then you feel these negative effects, which doesn't worth it at all.
yeah.
And you just say
I
no because you drink a little bit of alcohol, or you want to be a little bit more social, and then you say no to yourself, so you don't respect yourself.
mm,
And that's what I feel. That's why I suffer double when I skip.
it's so good. It's so good you mentioned that, and everything you said. That's very spot on. And this is why you miss it. You miss the routine, and this is why when people feel awful after Christmas or after a holiday, because they really overindulge.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I love um, drinking and eating and just being lazy a bit during Christmas, but I do it for half a day or one day.
Yeah.
And I still did my morning routine, because this is not an extra necessity. I mean, it's not a task. This is something for me. This is
Yeah.
something for you. It's good.
Yeah.
And this is why just find an exercise that's good for you, or find any kind of, just read your favorite book for 15 minutes, anything that lifts you up, that just gives you, just a positive boost for the start of the day. And this is why it's important that this is a morning routine, not an evening routine.
Yeah, I mean, you can really personalize it. Like, as we both have so different routines, we have similarities as
Mm.
well, but I think we developed what works for us. And it's okay to skip from time to time, but it's also important to keep it for your own good. I think you go down on the road. Like, for example, when I skip it, I start to cheat with everything. I start to cheat with my
Mm.
diet, anything that I set as a goal. I delay and delay because I delayed my morning routine. And I don't know how is this connected, but I feel that it's kind of connected mentally for me.
It's absolutely, I read about it that a morning routine motivates healthier choices
Mm-hmm.
through the day.
Yeah.
And it's a sort of discipline, but discipline doesn't, I think when people think of discipline, they think of school, educational institutes, or
Mm-hmm.
work. But this is a good discipline, and honestly, you will feel the difference when you
Yeah.
keep doing it. And yes, you can skip it for a few days, but
Yeah.
as you said, then you start letting in more unhealthy habits
Yeah.
once you skip this. Yes.
At some point, I think morning routine becomes automatic, and then you don't even have to think. Even when you're with others, I think you just automatically wake up and you do it, and it's not really an extra trouble for you.
And there is something else I really wanted to bring in here that I also just recently learned, and I've started to add it to my morning routine. As soon as you wake up, get at least 2 to 10 minutes sunlight. Just
Oh yeah.
stand in the door,
Mm-hmm.
or if you have a balcony or a garden, go out as first thing, open the curtains,
Yeah.
because light is the single most important element for setting our circadian clock, which is, it's an internal 24-hour rhythm that helps to set the sleep and wake cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And morning light is key to influence hormone production. We're talking about cortisol, serotonin, melatonin. And in order to, I learned it at a sleep clinic, that in order to improve your sleep, you need to get the sunlight that sets your hormone production to the right level. And if people listen to us from the UK, I know it can be challenging because we're not at the lucky side of the globe in terms of weather.
Mm-hmm.
But I have tried that even if it's gray or raining, the sun is out there. So just get that natural light before anything. And this is where coffee comes in, because it's something I am just starting to experiment with, because as I told you that I usually have my coffee as first thing in the morning, and I play my online puzzles with it.
Mm-hmm.
But drinking coffee as soon as you wake up could really interfere with your body's cortisol production. Cortisol is the stress hormone, and this is one of the hormones that's set by the sunlight. And then when you drink coffee as first thing in the morning, it could leave you feeling more stressed and even more tired later on the day. And I can feel that, because I usually have my coffee, I do my morning routine, I have my breakfast, and then I suddenly feel a drop of energy level. I feel I could go back to sleep. I've been researching how I could tackle this down, and what I'm trying is to start the morning routine and then have coffee as you do. And according to the articles I've read, the most effective is to wait 90 minutes for all your hormone levels to set before messing it up with coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, I also did start my mornings with coffee straight, and it was not good. I drink now either tea or decaffeine because I still like the taste of coffee. But I start with a big glass of water. It should be warmish water because your intestines are still warm after you wake up. You still have this, I don't know how many degrees inside. So when you shock your system with cold water, you create inflammation. So you should start with warmish water,
Mm.
and then you
Oh
can.
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into it a little bit more and maybe elaborate on it in another episode. But it's interesting also what you say about the light, the morning light, because I also heard this. I don't know if it was Huberman who said that, but this sunlight, in case you don't have access to it, because also I wake up at 6
Mm.
when we don't have any sunlight. It's completely dark here in Switzerland too. So they developed this type of light that represents something similar to the sunlight. I'm gonna also search for it and maybe link it in the description, because this is something that you can use in case you live in a dark country.
Yes, I just like to add it here that electric light is not the same. So opening up your
No,
computer or your phone,
no.
it's the worst you can do.
Yeah,
So I think what
exactly.
Tina is talking about, there are this I've seen there are this therapy lamps you can
Exactly.
buy
Yeah. I was really
with
searching for it, but I couldn't find.
solar. I found it's called solar lamp. Yes, sorry. So what Tina was talking about, these are these medically certified light therapy lamps that operate with LED technology.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely not even the lamp in your room. That's not gonna do the same effect.
For sure
But
not.
they do use these lamps to fight winter depression, the winter blues you were talking about.
Yeah, it's good to clarify that the normal light is not gonna do the same job. So we're gonna link
No.
this. We're gonna find it and link it in the description. So I hope everyone can take away something useful from our personal morning routines. And I just wanted to ask a few questions from the audience that they can ask from themselves and answer those to themselves. So I had in mind, what do you hope to change in your daily routine? This is something that I was thinking about during these days, because I'm always kind of trying to improve my morning routine as best it suits me in this moment, because we always change. So I think it's good to always adapt to your certain state. And another thing that I would like to ask is, what was maybe working for you in the past that you think would be a good idea to bring back? I'm gonna give an example from my experience. For me, it was working well to write down 5 goals for my week, what I would like to achieve. So this is something that I would like to bring back to my morning routine, because as you mentioned, Judith, it's something kind of like visualization for the day. So this is mine. What would be yours?
I think my next experiment will be this change of coffee thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just would like everyone to think about what we were talking, because maybe you experience some blockage in your life or in your day. You feel tired always, you feel exhausted, you feel you're procrastinating everything, and you haven't found a solution yet. let's say you've been planning to go to the gym for months, but you just never get there, go there in the morning, get it done early, and you will feel so much better. I used to think that when I'm tired, I don't exercise. I live my life like that for nearly 30 years. I thought, oh no, I'm tired, I
Mm-hmm.
better rest. And I realized at one point, and I think my partner opened my eyes, that you have to exercise when you're tired. This is the best way to get over tiredness. You exercise, you wake your body up, you wake your mind up. So when you feel tired, go down to the gym or open up YouTube and put on a video. By the way, YouTube is not sponsoring us either, but
We should start to
and you
get
will feel
sponsors, maybe.
just start it. The best way to wake up is to exercise. I think I have repeated it in a million times. Yeah, just think about everything we have said. Just implement one of them and see if it works for you, and try the shower thing. Honestly, I have been meeting new and new people who are members of this cold shower club, and they all talk about it as a religion.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
amazing. But we
That's
will
true.
talk about more the next episode.
Exactly. Yes, looking forward. So, thank you, Judith, for this conversation. I really enjoyed it. And I thank you for our audience to listen to us and to join us today. And I hope to see you all in a few weeks.
Thank you, Tina. I absolutely love this conversation, and I really, really hope from the bottom of my heart that we might have inspired some people to change their routines. And we will see you in 2 weeks' time with our special guest and talk more about the magic of cold showers.
Yes.
Let's see you all.
See you soon.
If you like this episode, please leave a review, share your thoughts in a comment, and spread the word of our podcast so it can reach many who might need to hear it.
Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and leave us a 5-star rate if you're happy with our podcast, and or subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content and discussions.